So in this video here live in Marbella, I'm going to be sharing with you what you should do if you've got £30,000 to invest in the UK property buy-to-let market. If you're new to this channel, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell right now and stay tuned for more videos that I release every single week. My name's Liam Ryan, I'm one of the co-founders of Assets for Life, and in my videos I teach you how you can start, scale and grow your property business to absolute financial freedom. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 7 top tips on what you should do if you've got access to £30,000 right now so you can become financially free through property. Number 1, investing in you and your education is essential. I started my property journey over 15 years ago, and first time round in property, I made every mistake possible. I bought overseas, I bought off plan, I bought new builds, I had no understanding about property and what's needed to grow a successful property business, and I ended up losing over €2 million, and I don't want this to happen to you. So number 1 is you need to invest in your education. And there's lots of things you can do. You can watch YouTube videos like you're doing now, you can listen to podcasts, you can download online courses, you can get books, audio programs, go and invest in great mentors, advanced training. I've actually got some advanced training which I want to invite you to right now, completely free of charge. Somewhere below in the description there was a link. Click on the link and grab your complimentary ticket and come and spend the day with me and my business partner and the entire Assets for Life team, and we will show you how you can start investing in yourself in the right education so you don't make the mistakes that I made and you hit the ground running really quickly. So remember, click that link now, get yourself booked onto one of our up and coming events, and remember, the most important thing that you can do when you've got £30,000 is invest in you. You are your biggest asset. Point number 2 is don't invest and use the entire £30,000 that you've got sitting in the bank account. I think it's very important that you leave yourself a buffer of say 10 if not 20%, just so you've got some cash reserves in case something happens in your life and you need immediate access to cash. So let's just say out of the £30,000 you're going to use £5,000 as your buffer, as your reserve capital, and then you're going to play with £25,000. And there's many things you can do with that £25,000, as I'm going to explain throughout the course of this video, because with just £25,000 you can definitely get started and you can start to build a property business that's going to give you nice income and ultimately start building a legacy for your futures so you can do what you want when you want. Hey, if you want to come and hang out in Marbella like I'm doing now, you can do this, and this type of lifestyle can be paid for by an asset-backed business. So point number 3 when investing £30,000 into the UK property market, you've got to understand what your goals are for the next 1, 3 and 5 years. So spend some time in the next few minutes writing down some of your goals and really thinking about what's important to you. You want cash flow? Do you want to make lumps of cash? Do you want a mixture of the two? Are you maybe trying to secure something for your retirement? Do you want to be in a position where you can reduce your hours in your business, or maybe you want to go and sack the boss? Once you have an understanding of some of your goals, that's going to help you make decisions in which direction you go down when investing this £30,000 into the property market. So think about your goals, get pen to paper. Only 3% of the population actually write their goals down, but those that write their goals down, they're 97% more likely to achieve them. So go for it, grab a pen and paper and think about where you are now, and more importantly, where you want to be in 12 months, where you want to be in 3 years, and where you want to be in 5 years. Is cash flow important? Do you want to build on this £30,000 and make lumps of cash? And really, why are you in property and what it is you want to achieve? Point number 4, with your £30,000, bearing in mind you're going to leave £5,000 as a reserve, you've got £25,000 to play with. Now, if you're buying property in the south of the UK, that's really not going to get you very far. So what you can do is adopt a strategy where you're buying cheap property, so it's buy low and rent high. And you can focus on areas in the north of the UK where you can pick up property for 60, 70, 80,000 pounds, which you can then convert and turn into a single dwelling, a single let dwelling, where you rent that property out for cash flow to a family or to a single person, something like that. So let me give you an example. If you go and find a property that needs work, so you're buying it below market value, and let's say that it's a purchase price of £60,000, typically you'll need to find 25% as a deposit. So that would be £15,000. That's going to leave you £10,000 left in your pot. You can use that £10,000 for refurbishment, new bathroom, new kitchen, new lick of paint, making the property look presentable, and then adding the value. For every £1 that you spend on a refurbishment, you want to get back £3. So every £1, you want to get back £3. So if you're investing £10,000 into a refurb, you would like to achieve a £30,000 uplift in the property value. Now, that's not always going to be the case. It's just a rule of thumb and something for you to be thinking about. So let's say you've now got the property, you've invested in the refurb, you've got some tenants in, and then in about 6 or 12 months later, you want to do a refinance. You call your mortgage broker, they send the value around, and the hope is that the property has increased. You can get a new mortgage, 75% loan to value, and then you can start pulling out your initial investment pot. And you can follow the buy, refurbish, refinance process. In some deals, you're going to get all of the money back out, the deposit and the refurb costs, and then you've pretty much got a house for free. If you need to leave some money in the deal, well, that's okay, because then you look at the return on capital employed. And this is how you can start to build a property portfolio using just £25,000 initially to start. So if you live in the south, have a look in the north. If you're up in the north already, get out to some of your areas, research the market, go and have a look on Rightmove and see what property prices are around in the region of about £60,000. Point number 5, and something which works really well in property investing, is teaming up with a joint venture partner. So you can find someone else that has also got access to cash, and you can team forces. Maybe you use your £25,000 for the deposit, and maybe they bring in some cash for the refurb. So maybe you can then look at property which is a little bit more expensive, or it gives you a few more options, because like I say, with £25,000 you're limited, but if you've got a second person also with £25,000, then of course you've got £50,000 to then start your property business. Now, it's really important when you're working with JV partners that you do your full due diligence. It's really important you understand who your investor is, who your partner is. Make sure your values and your vision is aligned, because you're going to be going into business, you're going to be owning an asset. So you have to know each other, you have to like each other, and of course you have to trust each other. And even if you know them, like them and trust them, make sure that you're both protected legally through the right company structure, shareholder agreements, joint venture agreements. So if anything was to go wrong in the future and you have a falling out, then you're both protected by what you decided right in the beginning with legal documents. So have a think now, who do you know that you could team up with that could also bring some cash to the table to start your property journey? Top tip number 6 is looking to use that £25,000 in an income replacing high cash flow model such as rent to rent, HMO, or rent to rent serviced accommodation. Now if you have got limited time, you can go out there and you can work with property sourcers, people that will find you the right deals, bring those deals to you, you pay them a sourcing fee, and you can also have them manage the property for you, so you can be completely hands off. You are just an investor, but through that process you're going to learn a lot about rent to rent, you're going to learn a lot about HMOs and serviced accommodation, and that's going to increase and really help you with your mindset and really give you a lot of positive affirmation as to what you're doing and a lot of confidence. You can also just go and find your own rent to rent deals. Rent to rent is where you're not owning the asset, you're not buying the asset, but you're managing the asset, or you're renting the asset from an existing landlord, and they allow you to then use that property as a HMO, so a multi-let, or a serviced accommodation, which is one of the UK's hottest property strategies right now. Now, typically speaking, a rent-to-rent deal will be an investment of around £5,000. In many cases, you can put in a lot less, and in others, it might be a little bit more. So let's just say £5,000, but you've now got £25,000 to invest. That's 5 deals, ladies and gentlemen. Each of those deals should cash flow you in the region of £1,000 per calendar month. Some will be more, some will be a little bit less. So from the investment of £25,000, you get 5 rent-to-rent deals. That kicks you out £5,000 a month net profit. That's £60,000 a year, and you can have it completely managed and leveraged, and you can be an armchair investor, or you can be as involved as you want. This is a great cash flow strategy. The downside, you don't own the asset, so it's not a wealth creation strategy, but the upside, it's quick. You can find lots of deals, you can scale, you get your money invested in the right areas, and you can really start to enjoy lovely cash flow, so you can start to live the life of your dreams that you deserve and you desire, and you can do what you want, when you want, with who you want. I don't know about you, but that's why I got into property. It's an amazing place to be. That's just one way in which you can get your £25,000 working for you. Okay, and point number 7 is you want to stay mortgageable. Now, in order to stay mortgageable, you need to show SA302s, your tax returns, or you need to show pay slips. So don't just rush and decide, hey, I'm going to get into property, I've got a bit of cash in the bank, and I'm going to quit my job or sack off my business, because that could stop you from getting mortgages in the future. You want to build up your credit rating, build up your credibility with the mortgage companies, and then once you've got income coming in from an asset-backed business, then you can look to perhaps quit your job or reduce your hours in your business. Many of my graduates now are starting to sack the bosses. They're starting to get out of the 9 to 5, their businesses. Many people that I train now have, gone and got degrees. They can't get jobs. They're not getting paid the money they want to get paid, and they're just building a property business, one investor, one property at a time. So stay mortgageable and don't rush to get out your day job just yet or reduce your hours in your business. Build up your credibility first. So there we go, 7 big tips on what you need to think about when you've got access to £30,000. And it just goes to show you don't need a big lump of cash to get started. And if you haven't got £30,000, that's also not going to stop you. Why? Because you can go and raise other people's money, joint venture finance, and you can bring someone into your business and they will give you £30,000 to get started. I would much prefer 50% of something rather than 100% of nothing. I'm having a fantastic time here in Marbella. We're on our Property Millionaires Retreat. It's been absolutely insane working with business owners, property investors just like yourself. So hey, go for it. You've got to be in it to win it. Make sure you get to one of my up and coming events, watch more of my videos, and I'll see you very soon.